Hello everybody, welcome back to Texas Empire. We're here with another YouTube video. Just to get something out of the way real quick, I know this video is a couple days late and it's because I had some family stuff going on and I also got sick and I'm still getting over the cold. So every now and then I'm going to be coughing and everything, so I hope y'all excuse that. But today we're going to be talking about my top 5 tools for heavy equipment mechanics. And once I got all these and brought them home, this isn't just for heavy equipment mechanic, this is for any type of a mechanic. So I was asking around my shop, every tech's opinion, what was their top 5 tools. And 3 of these we all agreed on. The other 2, I couldn't decide. I couldn't just pick out 2 tools. I had a whole bunch I wanted to get, but 5. We had to do 5. So these aren't the most important 5 tools. These aren't the best 5 tools. These are 5 tools that you're gonna need, you're gonna want, whether it be makes life easier, makes it more efficient, works better, and it just makes you do your job better. Make your job a whole lot easier and make you do your job better, which is the most important thing. We're always out here trying to get better. So without further ado, let's kick this off. In no particular order, number 1 for me is wobble sockets. Now, I have 3/8 and 1/2 inch here. This is the Matco 3/8 drive wobble socket metric set. Goes from 10 to 19 with no skips. This was my... No, this was not my first purchase off the tool truck. When I bought my orange Matco cart that I'm sure y'all have seen on Instagram and in the toolbox tours, I paid cash for it, so the tool truck threw these in. And these are the greatest things on the planet. When I go grab a 3/8 drive 16 or 18 or 13 or 10, this is what I grab. I don't grab normal sockets. Wobble sockets to me are the best. I love them. They're my favorite type of socket. They're not a you don't have to go grab them to do every bolt, but when you need a wobble socket, you need a wobble socket. Now, I forgot to bring it home. If you can't afford a set like this, and I'll link this set, but it doesn't say Matco on it, it says Sunex on it, but I'll link that in the description down below, and maybe a couple different brands that I know are good down in the description below. But if you can't afford these, you can buy a wobble adapter and put any 3/8 socket on it. I meant to bring that home to show you for a cheaper alternative for wobble sockets. I'm sure you know what they are. They're little universal wobbles. You can get them in 3/8, 1/2, 3/4. I'll post a picture of all 3 of them tomorrow on my Instagram, Friday. This video is going to go up on Thursday, August 4th. So on August 5th, I'll post all 3 of them on my Instagram. The adapters I'm talking about. But these things are bad to the bone. Wobble sockets. This is the 3/8 and Matco. And then I have the 1/2 inch drive set from Caterpillar, which they're snap-on. They just say Cat on them. And this is the standard set. It gets pretty big. It goes from, I want to say 1/2 inch to 1 inch and 5/16. Yep, 1/2 inch to 1 inch and 5/16. These are fairly new. I've had them for about, I don't know, 6 months. I don't use them very often. By looking at it, it looks like I use the inch and the 15/16 a lot. Or sorry, not the inch. 15/16 and inch and 3/16 a lot, because they're both worn off pretty good. But these are, I buy tools through Cat because I work for Caterpillar dealership, so I get a discount on them. It's rebranded Snap-on stuff. I can also I'll post these with the part number on Instagram as well on Friday, the day after I film this video, August 5th, 2021. So you head on over there if you're not already. It's Texas_Empire24 is my Instagram name. But again, these are just more wobble sockets. These are 1/2 inch drive. And it took me a while to bite the bullet and buy those. But my rule, if you've watched any of my videos about tools, if you have to borrow it more than 3 times, go buy the dang thing. Or on the 3rd time, go buy the dang thing. So that's why I bought those. That's the number 1 tool though, wobble sockets. I know that's a bunch of tools, but it's a set. So wobble sockets is number 1. Number 2 is cordless impacts. Now, I know we could get in a lot of debates about air, pneumatic against cordless, and obviously I ride on the cordless. I have pneumatic. They don't ever get used, ever, except for my 3/4, obviously. Sorry. Excuse me. But cordless impacts, man, they're so much faster. They're so much more efficient. They're just easier to use, and I know they can be a little bit more pricey, but a lot of back in the day, people were saying, you know, well, they're not as powerful as pneumatic. Bullcrap. Now they are. Cordless impacts have come a long way, especially Milwaukee. They're the best. If you're gonna buy one, I would buy Milwaukee. The warranty, the power, these things are just the bomb, right? So I've had Mac or DeWalt, whatever, and the 3/8. I have a video about that. I'll link that up here somewhere of why I switched to the Milwaukee 3/8. And then I just bought the Big Daddy half not too long ago. I love this thing. This thing is a freaking beast. But cordless impacts just make life so much easier, man. And another, I'm all about, you know, buying tools on a budget and not getting too expensive. So let me open up my personal toolbox here. When I first started, I did not have a cordless impact. I had air, and I had this Makita, takes a 1/4 inch chuck, and I had a 3/8 chuck that I popped in there like that, and that's what I started with. Now I couldn't bust a lot off with it. I couldn't tighten stuff down a lot with it, but it was a good, if you already have one of these, you know, this was a tool set that I had at my house, and then when I started, I took this with me, and this thing got beat to death. As you can see, the cap's missing right here. It's nearly falling apart, but it still works. That's a good cheap alternative to this if you're just starting out and you can't afford one of these. Makita, DeWalt, you know, the Milwaukee brand, whatever you have of this, and this little 3/8 chuck adapter, it's a good cheap alternative. I'm all about, you know, buying what you can afford. So, but the number 2 tool is cordless impacts. I'm not going to go deep into the debate as why you should, you know, why they're better than air, other than they're easier to use. You don't have to worry about an air hose. I think these two are more powerful than my Ingersoll Rand 3/8 and 1/2 inch pneumatic. They speak for themselves. I'm sure most people out there have cordless now, but this is a must-have for me. I can't function without these 2 impacts right here. So that's the number 2 tool, is a cordless impact. And number 3, if you know me, if you've watched any of my stuff in the future, is these dang wire strippers right here. The Tool-Aid wire strippers. I bought these off the Snap-on truck for twice what you can buy them on Amazon. Again, I'll link these down below. All these tools right here can be bought on Amazon in different brands. You can buy Milwaukee, you can buy Tool-Aid, and then Sunex is the one that makes these Matco sockets. You can buy those. As far as the cat one goes, you can't buy them on Amazon, but I think Sunex has a 1/2 inch wobbles. So I'll link an option for all these tools down below. But these Tool-Aid wire strippers, I did HVAC for 3 years, a little over 3 years, I think. And if I would have had these back in the day, it would have saved me so much time. Again, I just used my dikes to strip most of the thermostat wires and stuff. But I've kind of gotten away from that because I'm smarter now. But these wire strippers are the best wire strippers. And for me, when I was going through my toolbox trying to pick the 4th and 5th tool, I saw these and I was like, okay, I can't not take these, because if somebody's sending me out on a job, and you know, every job has a chance of being, for me, you know, engine, which could be electrical or hydraulic. Electrical is always an option for what could be wrong. So if I'm making up a go bag to leave the shop with, these are going in there with a pair of dikes, obviously. But these you can use as dikes also if you can get them in there. Excuse me. So these are the Tool-Aid brand. You can buy them at Harbor Freight. That's not Tool-Aid, but they seem a little flimsier to me than these ones do. If you have a Harbor Freight pair, let me know down below. I don't have a pair. I just held some at a store once. So if you have those, let me know how good they work. But these are in a link in my bio on Instagram. That's how much I love these things. These Tool-Aid wire strippers, freaking love them. I don't get paid by Tool-Aid, but they should pay me for as much as I talk about them. But that's the number 3 tool that I could not live without. Must have for me is those Tool-Aid wire strippers. And number 4 is, let me take these test leads off here, make this easier, is a multimeter. Now, I'm diehard Fluke from my HVAC days. This is the Fluke 88 V2, if that's what you want to call it. I think it's a 5 is what that is. Roman numeral. Yeah, Roman numeral logo. I think that's a 5, or I don't remember Roman numerals all that well. I think about it. I have to go back to 3rd grade. But this multimeter, for me, you can't be a good tech without a multimeter. You can. A lot of people nowadays are using those Power Probe, which I think teaches bad habits. I don't really like to send 12 volts down something, you know, if it's messed up, because who knows what could happen. I mean, long story, but anyway, so I test light and a multimeter. Multimeter is, you have to have this tool to be any type of mechanic, period. You have to have this tool. You can get away with pneumatic impacts. You can get away with just using dikes for wire stripping. You can get away with, when you can't get a socket on there because you need a wobble, having to use a wrench. You cannot get away without using a multimeter. You can't not have this tool. This is a must-have tool on the first tool buy list that I send out in my emails. You have to have a multimeter. You don't have to have a fluke, but I would buy a fluke. They're the best in my opinion. So fluke multimeter, my opinion, the best. Pick you one up. I'll link this exact meter down below in the description. I apologize, my dog is starting to bark in the background. But fluke multimeter, my opinion, the best. This is a must-have tool. Out of this list, this is the most important one, period, is the multimeter. You can get fluke, you can get Mac, Snap-on, whatever you can afford. Now this tool is going to get, it's a separate video that's going to come up next week on Tuesday, not on Thursday. But I couldn't figure out a fifth tool, and I was sitting there and I'm like, you know, what do I use every day? You know, what can I not walk away from without? And I'm opening my drawers, I'm looking at it, I've asked other techs in the shop, and then I had a scratch on my chest. I went like this, and my pin flashlight was in my pocket, and I was like, yeah, duh, I gotta have this tool. And I'm not going to go too detailed into these particular flashlights and everything because they're getting their own video. A lot of people have asked for that video, and we're going to get on that here shortly. Next week, that'll be next week's video, so subscribe and hit that notification button so you can see that. But this one's just a Streamlight pin light, Coast. I don't know a bunch of Maglite. I don't know a lot of brands, but most of the other techs in the shop just have the big daddies and they carry around in their back pocket. I'm rolling around on the ground too much. That bugs the crap out of me. So a pin light, a flashlight of some sort is a must. I have multiple variations. I have a pin light, I have the big daddy, I have two magnetic lights, I have magnetic strip lights. We even have a light that's, you know, the old school on the extension cord that you can hang off in somewhere. Lights are a must-have. You can see what you're doing. You're troubleshooting. You can pinpoint leaks, broken wires. You know, let's say you're up and underneath an excavator. You drop the belly pan on the engine compartment, and you're up in there because there's something going on with a wiring issue. Well, 9 times out of 10, the engine ECM connector is between the engine and the counterweight, and from the top can be difficult to see, and the harness comes up from the bottom anyways. So you get in there underneath it, you can't see anything. You got all these lights shining down, and you know, sometimes you could look up and it's just right where it's in your eyes. You can't see. A flashlight is a must-have tool for any good technician. I can't remember who it is, but there's somebody on here excuse me, on YouTube that has a video about what they carry in their pocket. You know, pocket screwdriver, flashlight, pen, blah blah blah. All I carry is a flashlight and a pen. I don't use a pocket screwdriver very often. But this is a must-have tool. Definitely needed to be in the top 5. I don't know why I didn't think of this. First off, I would get a bright color. Don't get a black one. I've made that mistake. But a flashlight is definitely a number 5 tool. So again, I know a lot of people are going to have different opinions. So if you have a different opinion of your top 5 tools, drop it in the comments below. I'm all in for input. I messaged a few guys on Instagrams to get their opinion, on Instagram to get their opinion, and again, everybody I asked agreed on 3 of these tools. Cordless impacts, wobble sockets, and multimeter. Those 3 tools everybody agreed on that I talked to are top 5, must have. They're not walking away from their toolbox without it. So the stripper was all me, and I think everybody would agree with the flashlight if I brought it up. But again, if you have a different top 5, leave it in the comments below. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow us over on Instagram for more daily stuff. But that's it, you know, multimeter, again, any brand. Almost got my lead dropped on a bow vise. I will link all this stuff that I can in the description below, and for y'all to go check out. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you got any comments or anything, drop it down below. Give me a thumbs up. But we'll see y'all later. Stay tuned for more.